So, women, ladies, girls, you are so awesome and so beautiful, so incredible, so intuitive, and nurturing, and brave, and strong, and sweet, and funny, and kind. So much goodness. And there's so much confusion amongst women right now, all over the world, trying so hard and doing your best, doing the best that you know how, and oftentimes just feeling exhausted and confused and worn. I've met a lot of women recently who are just plain worn out. And I get it. There's so many mixed messages out there of who you should be and how you should be. You know, strong and independent and capable, but yet soft and sweet and caring and giving. And that'll make your head spin. All those different messages, all those different pressures from lots of different places, from different people. How you should look. Your body should look a certain way. It needs to look a certain way, or else you're not going to get the love that you're looking for. So you got to lose a few pounds or a lot of pounds. Or you just have to kind of succumb to the fact that your body's never going to look that great, because it just isn't. And you just have to sink into that and feel bad about that. It is so not true. The love that you know is out there for you. It's your birthright. It's there for you. It's bound to happen. Okay? And it begins by allowing the love for yourself to take hold. Because it can be really hard to love yourself when you're not feeling good about yourself. When you don't like the way that you look. When you don't like the things that you say. When you don't think that you match up to other women who are better than you. Or who others think are better than you. But there's a part of you, if you tune in quietly and allow your attention just to sink in really deep, there's a part of you that just knows of your goodness, of your worthiness, that you are worthy to stand up straight as a woman, as a lady, as a girl, and to trust your heart, to trust yourself, to follow your inner guidance, and to trust what feels right and what doesn't feel right to you. Even when the men around you or other women around you are putting pressure on you, emotional pressure. You know, can't you just be more open, or can't you just be nicer? Can't you just be less of you so we can all get along? If you weren't so strong-willed, if you weren't so opinionated, then we could get along. And when you hear those things, it can hit, and it can start to get you to question yourself. You know, maybe there is something wrong with me. Maybe I am too strong-willed. Maybe I am too opinionated. Maybe I try too hard. Maybe I want too much. Maybe I expect too much. Does that sound familiar? Maybe I just need to expect less. Expect less out of life. Less out of myself. Less out of others. But all of those voices, all of those messages are not the truth. The truth is that you are who you are. And that part of you, that when it's being itself, when you're being yourself and others don't like it, It's because you're strong. And strength is good. And strength can look like lots of different things. It doesn't have to look like this. Strength is just a knowing, an inner knowing of what feels right, what is right to you, and standing firm in that. Okay, but it's hard to stand firm in that if you don't know your value and how worthy you are of the greatest things in life. You are immaculately beautiful from the inside out, radiant and pure. Just goodness to your core. No matter what you've done, no matter what nasty things that you've said or the things that you've done to hurt people in the past, when you've gotten triggered, when you've gotten upset and angry, those things are fine because they happened. And everything that's happened in your life right up to this point right here has served you, and it's there to bring you right where you are right now as you're right here with me. Everything in the past. So can you take a big deep breath with me and just know you are who you are right now, and everything in the past is just fine. Okay, you've probably learned from mistakes that you've made. You've probably grown from situations that you've got yourself into that now you see that you wish you hadn't. But does that mean that it was bad or that it was wrong or that you should feel guilt or regret? No. No. So take pride in knowing that you are you through and through, right here, right now. And you deserve, it's your right to stand firm and stand strong. So many women, and I've met a lot of women lately in this situation, but so many women are stuck in this perpetual cycle of wanting connection with men, okay, and connecting with men, and then men want to rush right in to physical contact and to have sex and to be intimate in that way. And so many women are torn between going along with that, even if they don't really want to, because they want to keep the connection and they don't want to be seen as mean or rude or stiff. And so I've seen it and I know it. Women tend to, give away parts of themselves in order to not feel that hurt that comes along with, when someone tries to shame you. If you connect with a guy and you're having fun and you're laughing and things are going well, and then when a man comes in to get physical, it is hard for a woman to say no. I want to stay connected, but I don't want that. If that's what's true. Because when that happens, a man's feelings can get hurt because of his own insecurities, because of his own unresolved emotions, because of his stuff that he hasn't been able to work through yet. And in that hurt state, in that triggered state, a man can say a lot of very hurtful things, or turn and pull the connection away, abandon you emotionally. So, if you're going to be like that, then I'm going to turn away. And that's not right. I'm here on behalf of all men to say that is not right. To abandon someone emotionally because they say no, because they have boundaries, because they are dedicated to acting according to what feels right for them and not going along with things that does not feel right. And a real man will respect that and appreciate that. Okay? And a man who doesn't, it doesn't mean that deep down he's not a real man, but it means in that state, anyone who will shame you or blame you or push on you for you having your boundaries and you saying no or not right now or I'm not feeling that right now, that is someone who perhaps right now at this point in time doesn't deserve, your love and your attention. And actually, they're getting your love when you say no. When we say no to something that doesn't feel right for us, we are loving that person because we're loving ourselves, even if they don't feel it in that moment, because it might trigger them, okay? It triggers the parts of them that feels less than, that feels judged, that feels hurting. because it feels rejection can be hard, okay? But your body is yours. Your space, your time, your attention is yours. And you deserve to stand firm, centered in that, to operate how you want to. And there are men out there who can be connected to you and don't need anything from you, who can appreciate you and respect you and admire you and pour into you and encourage you, and who aren't doing it because they want something in return from you. How about that? Isn't that cool? It's a relatively rare thing in our society today, but it's here. And so I tell you that to encourage you, because it can be confusing, okay? Particularly if you had a father figure growing up who wasn't the strongest, or who wasn't the most in tune with his emotions, or who abandoned you, or who wasn't really there when you needed him. Okay, you can be operating in a place where you don't know what that's like to have a strong masculine presence there for you, that doesn't need you to be a certain way, that doesn't need something from you in order to stay around, but who is there for you and with you simply because you are you and you deserve love. Can you imagine that? A strong masculine presence who's just there for you, who can hear you, who doesn't need to fix you, who doesn't need to change you, who doesn't need to give you advice and play the one-up role, you know, talking down, condescending, but who can just listen and can allow you the space to feel your emotions and to vent and to share and to cry and to yell, and who can just be there and say, I see you. Thank you for being so open with me, so honest with me. I respect you. These men are out there. And so I say that to encourage you, that the love that you want, okay, you can find that relationship that we're all looking for, that we all want, those deep, loving, romantic connections and friendship connections too. Okay, and the path to it is going into yourself and beginning to feel those feelings of hurt from all those times that you've been, you know, rejected, or all those times when you've been shamed and told that you should be different. You know, because that feeling of like needing to conform to people's expectations in order to keep love and to keep connection, that will exhaust you. And it ties your hearts into knots, or it ties your heart into knots. And you think, oh, maybe I should be different because a lot of people are telling me, you know, that I'm too much or that I'm not nice enough, until you start to let go of the authentic parts of yourselves in order to maintain connection. And you feel like that's love. You feel like you're doing that out of a good place, out of a good motive. And you are doing that out of a good motive. But ultimately, when you shut down parts of your authentic self in order to please other people, it just ties that heart up in knots. And it will end up exhausting you. Because when you're operating in a place that's not fully you, that's not the real you, that's not the authentic you, it always burns out. It always ends up causing problems. And so I invite you on this day, all you women, you right here who's with me right now, you deserve the best. You deserve love, attention, affection. And I invite you to give it to yourself and to trust that no matter what other people say, no matter what pressure that men around you put on you to be different or be that, is that you deserve to live out of your heart, to live out of your center. And when someone tells you to do something and you don't feel like it, just saying, hey, it doesn't feel right. I don't feel like it. That's enough. You don't need explanations. You are enough. And it's enough to just say, this is who I am, and I'm getting more and more comfortable with myself. So here's to you. Much love, peace, and gratitude.